Good evening and good Thursday to you. As always, thank you for choosing us and spending a little time with us on this 9th day of April. Another evening under the gun weather-wise. We'll take a look at outside conditions and your forecast in just a few moments, which does include showers and storms throughout more of the forecast than less. The only nice part of the forecast, for change, is your weekend before and after. Not so much. We're going to fall right back into this pattern to some degree throughout all of next week with more clouds, showers, and storms than sun and anything else you might enjoy. Temperatures into the 70s pretty much all of next week. Today peaking out into the 80s as we expected, but it's that chance of severe weather that will be our focal point when I get to your entire Licking Valley RECC forecast in just a few moments. In tonight's headlines, 2 structure fires, one claiming a home that was just rebuilt after being totally destroyed, as were many others, during the March tornado. This time it was a fire that completely took a family's dwelling. We'll talk about how you can help St. Jude's maybe give back if they have helped, as they have so many throughout the viewing area over the course of the years. Without any question, they offer their services, and if you can't afford it, well, they don't care. They still pay for it and still see that your child gets the care that they need. We'll talk more about the reenactment and some other headlines to follow, all of which coming up in what's left of the next half hour. A lot of this news happening late, so bear with me as we get through it as best as possible. And we'll begin with 2 structure fires since I saw you last. Now, the first happened last night while I was out of the area. I do know that a mobile home caught fire in the Route 40 area close to the Carroll Specialty Company. It was a rental mobile home, and I'm told by Fire Chief Paul Howard, as I discussed it with him on scene of another fire that I'll cover in just a few moments, that it appeared to have started maybe behind the refrigerator of that structure. Now, they were able to save both ends of the structure, if you will, but fire, smoke, and water damage did destroy basically everything that homeowner or that tenant and homeowner had. We'll find more about the situation on tomorrow's program, so with my apologies. I only learned of it actually while covering the following fire earlier today, which happened at a residence belonging to a neighbor, very close neighbor, and a friend of mine actually, on Sugar Camp in Dixie Avenue. The Puckett family lost everything they had in an early morning structure fire that happened shortly after they had all, at different times, but all eventually had left for school and work. It was a very intense blaze. The Sayersville Fire Department tried to fight to the best of their ability, but there was not enough water on hand or anywhere that could have stopped the fire from ravaging the home. This is some unedited video from the scene, the right-hand fork of Sugar Camp. The residence of Jimbo and Becky Puckett and their 4 children was the site of the blaze. You can see the thick black smoke that let everyone know in the immediate and adjacent vicinities. Much further away than that, this was a serious structure fire. While this video is unedited, we'll hear from the homeowner in just a few moments, as well as the Sayersville Fire Department, about the intensity of the blaze and the sad irony about this home being destroyed not once but twice in just about as many years. I'll have that in its entirety and other headlines right after these messages. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. A Sayersville family of 6 have nothing to call their own except for what they were wearing or had with them when they left for school and work this morning. Jimbo and Becky Puckett and their 4 kids lost everything after this house fire this morning on the right-hand fork of Sugar Camp off of Dixie Avenue here in Sayersville. A neighbor called 911 after seeing smoke billowing from the home just moments after the last to leave, which was Jim, right around 10 o'clock this morning. Now this family is left with the disheartening question of whether or not to rebuild for the 3rd time after starting fresh in 2004 and then starting completely over after March 2012.
We started the house back in about 2004 and completed it. We built it as we could afford to build it. We didn't take a loan or anything out, so we've probably finished it about 2008, 2009. Then the tornado came in and just completely flattened it, and then this, twice now this house has been destroyed on this property.
Hey, any thoughts as to whether or not you're going to try to build back here yet or not, or have the heart to?
I don't know. I'm still kind of numb. I don't know. better answer. Right now, I don't have a clue.
Paul Howard says the Sagersville Fire Department, of course, in close proximity and with quick response, was able to get there in 3 minutes and probably, and more than likely, even less. And that upon their arrival, the home was already fully engulfed. But they could tell at that point that it appeared as though the origin of the fire appeared to be centered in what Mr. Puckett would point out to be the kitchen of the residence.
Upon arrival, the structure was fully engulfed on the downstairs section. There was fire coming out each window and doors of the structure. I automatically, knowing unlimited water supply up in here, I called for Bloomington and North Godolphin for water supply to help supply me with water.
Howard says that other obstacles that were presented besides not having a water supply on Sugar Camp, even though he says at one point there used to be a fire hydrant that was removed when new water lines were established to this part of the community, was the fact that it was a narrow one-lane road. The heat from the fire prevented them from pulling the fire truck up to a very close proximity. They had to keep it at a distance, and that, of course, resulted in running more line to reach the structure and presented some other issues in and of itself. But they were able to disperse a large amount of water on it, but as you can see from the blaze, it was just too great to battle and to save. And one of the several volunteers who responded to try to save this family's home was one who just lost his. You'll recall Steve Reisner and his wife and their newborn child lost their home to a structure fire just a few weeks ago here in Magoffin County, fully understanding just what a terrible loss this means to the family. And with all of this, and with all this before him, again, Mr. Puckett said on numerous occasions that he indeed felt blessed. They do have insurance on the structure that they hope will cover the mortgage, and that they also were able to find a couple of family pets very near and dear to the hearts of their children. And when one came running out from a small outbuilding after they'd frantically searched for the little pup for so long, it truly was a sight to behold. The Pucketts are hoping that that might ease the pain just a little bit for their children who come home from school to realize that there's just not a home to come home to anymore. And if you're wondering how a family can lose everything, a large new home built just 2 years ago and everything inside in a matter of about 32 minutes from the time the initial call came in to this, well, that's just exactly how intense the fire was. A picture taken by a neighbor right about at the peak of the blaze. And actually, that's incorrect. My math is off. It was about 37 minutes, I believe, that Fire Chief Paul Howard and I estimated when we were conducting that interview roughly after they had beaten the blaze down to as much of a degree as possible. This picture, which was taken by a neighbor, would have been only minutes after the initial call came in, and right about or just soon after firemen arrived on scene. We're talking about just a few minutes that this was the intensity of the blaze that took their home. And as I said, one of two families, or at least another resident, I believe, that lost their home in Magoffin County in less than a 12-hour period or so. We'll have more headlines after this. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Just after 5 o'clock this afternoon was the first opportunity he had to sit down and talk to me via the telephone, because it's been a busy day over at WSIP 98.9. Scott Ratliff is with us tonight, graciously taking out a few moments of a very busy day so he can tell us, and then we can help them as well in return get the word out about a 2-day telethon now getting, well, if you're watching the early show, not so close to winding down the first day, but in an effort to support St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. It is a facility that helps children, regardless of whether their parents, family, or caregivers can provide payment or not. And it's been a way of giving back for them at WSIP to St. Jude's for now 10 years. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been raised, and you still have plenty of time to support the cause.
This is our 10th annual Country Cares for St. Jude Kids Radiothon. It's our 10th year, and in those previous 9 years, we've raised just shy of $400,000. Now, when you say $400,000 over 10 years, I guess you can say it's good. When St. Jude officials look at those numbers, with the size of the area that we're at and the size of our town, they consider that being like $1 million donation. So they really enjoy the amount of money that has been created here in a little small area like Eastern Kentucky. So 10th year, as I said. But what we do is we try to raise money for St. Jude. All the money goes to them for their research. Now, at St. Jude, no family is turned away for their inability to pay. Now, there is some instances where if you've got insurance, they will use the insurance, but most of it is if you go there, then you don't spend a dime if you can't afford it. They don't turn any child away. And that's what we do. With this money that we raise for Country Cares, it goes all to St. Jude for their research that they share with all the rest of the world. It goes for the stay, the food, the traveling back and forth. All of it comes from events like this through Country Cares.
Tell me a bit about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the second of 2 days. We wanted to make sure that we spoke with you tonight so that listeners may tune in to 98.9 and check it out. And what will they hear? How can they donate? How much do they have to donate? Give me a rundown of how it works.
Well, this is will be our second day. Tomorrow will be today or first. We started bright and early this morning around 6 o'clock. We'll go till late tonight, maybe even toward midnight, 1 o'clock, depending on how things go. We have a bluegrass show that we do there, and it goes into the night. Then we'll start back again 6 o'clock in the morning. On Friday, we'll go to 6, 7, 8 o'clock, depending on how things are going. Tomorrow is usually in the afternoon, especially when it's kind of getting down to the wire. Things really start going quickly. A lot of phones just ring off the hook because people trying to get in before the event's over. We have an 800 number that people can call in. That's 1-800-942-8731. Again, it's 1-800-942-8731. And when you call, that goes to some computers and some people answering the phones here in another room at the radio station, and they'll ask you a series of questions. Now, you are able to donate whatever you like. If you one lump sum, if it's $5, $10, $50, $100, whatever, you can do that. But we encourage people to do what's called Partner in Hope. And a Partner in Hope is $20 a month pledge for the year. You can cancel that at any time. If something goes down the road you don't foresee happening and you need that money, well, you can cancel at any time. But $20 a month pledge, that's less than 67 cents a day, and you can't even buy a bottle of pop for that anymore. But $20 a month will make you a Partner in Hope, and that ensures that the $20 pledge, $240, will go to the children of St. Jude.
It's the Country Cares for St. Jude's Kids Radiothon, 98.9. Call them. I've got an 800 number, as Scott posted for you, and it is, well, I had an 800 number in front of me, 800-942-8731. Now, you can go onto their Facebook page and find it there if you don't have a pen or you do have a memory like mine, 800-942-8731. You can be a Partner in Hope for 67 cents a day that you can get out of any time and cancel if you need to, or you can donate $1, $2, $10, $100, whatever. And keep in mind, this is all part of their 10th year in doing this. My hat's off to everyone over at WSIP, and certainly to St. Jude. By the way, the young man on the right of your screen, that's Dalton Roberts. He's also over there helping. He's doing so partly because he's a cancer survivor from St. Jude. He's also from over in Flat Gap in Johnson County, and kudos to him as well. To get everything into the computer for tonight's community calendar, but I've got a few announcements I've got to get on. Maybe not necessarily in the exact order. The first one, I'm not sure about the order, because I can tell you the Little Rachel Church on 542 at Trace is having a big yard sale to raise money for the church. I've got a phone number, 884-7425 and 8152 to call. And I did call myself because I didn't get a time, and I'm assuming it was at the church we know, but we don't know the day or time. So whoever called, and I'll try to make a call back, but from the Little Rachel Church, get that to us. We'll let everyone know about it, and I suspect they're going to have a whole lot to see and a whole lot of great deals. A couple of reminders: the Kearney Free Will Baptist Church is hosting Family Movie Night this Saturday at 6. They'll be showing Passion of the Christ. Admission is free. They just want to have you in attendance for fellowship and a fine presentation. The Judy's Place for Kids Superheroes themed 5K run walk is coming up this Saturday at the Eastern Kentucky Expo Center. It starts at 9 o'clock. It's the 8th annual event. You can run a 5K, you can walk a mile, you can donate and just be a participant or not. You can be a spectator if you so would like. It's all to raise money for Judy's Place. You can register online still at judysplace.org. That's Judis place.org. You can dress in a superhero. They encourage you to do so. All proceeds go to benefit Judy's Place for Kids, which helps kids who have, helps to provide services to those young people and promote safety and justice, hope, and healing for children who have been abused. Saturday, East Kentucky Expo, 9 o'clock. I mentioned it earlier, and I'll put it over on the community calendar after tonight, but the public meeting for the next Kentucky Transportation Cabinet meeting in regards to the Mountain Parkway widening is coming up on the 14th. That is next Tuesday, and that will be at Prestonsburg Elementary. I'll have that time and everything on the community calendar for you after tonight. And the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church has their 4th annual bass fishing tournament set for April the 18th down at Cave Run. I'll tell you more about the reenactment in just a few moments. That wraps up tonight's community calendar. So after a few words from a few of our sponsors, our friend is back. I didn't make it in time before he flew off, but someone else did. I've got some pictures to show you, and to prove it, I'll add more in your closely watched weather forecast next. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. As it officially gets underway tomorrow, the reenactment's set for over the course of the weekend. A whole lot of things are planned for the Battle of Ivy Point reenactment starting tomorrow. It really picks up Saturday into Sunday, and a whole lot of things to see and do. I've got some times for you, and of course I was able to find a little bit of footage from a past reenactment. The Battle of Ivy Point returns. It does so with our Civil War reenactors from all over Kentucky and other parts, as well as things for everyone, a zip line, the petting zoo, the big bouncies and inflatables. You can hear, as real as it could ever be from a real person, President Lincoln and Mary Todd Lincoln in a special presentation on Saturday. This is free, fun for all ages. Relive history with them. Now, as for the battles, they'll be Saturday and Sunday at 2. And this, of course, is on the Gardner Farm there at the top of the Ivy Point Hill. Can't miss the big state signs that have already been set up out and ahead of the event. And then on Saturday at 6 to 8 that evening, the Kentucky Humanities Council will present Jim Sayer as Abraham Lincoln, as well as Trish Clark as Mary Todd Lincoln. And trust me, they've been doing these presentations for a long time now, for several years, since the 90s, I believe. Very dramatic and impactful, and something that you will enjoy. Fun for all ages. Now, I'll be venturing over tomorrow. We'll talk to some folks, but as I said, they start setting up tomorrow. All the fun begins tomorrow. The reenactment Saturday and Sunday at 2, and weather permitting, yes, perfect weather this weekend for just such a perfect event. More tomorrow, and the big events, of course, this weekend. And this is my friend, our friend, that has returned. Well, never left. You just never know when you're going to see. And I say it to him, I don't know. There could be more than one, I don't know. But I do know, well, a year or maybe even more so. And I hate to use the tornado as a reference point all the time, but I just recall that shortly after the tornado, we were recalling that we hadn't seen the bald eagle that we had focused on the program, that we'd seen so many sightings of here in Syersville, just outside the city limits and beyond, for a while, and then we started seeing it return. But well, since before the tornado, and since but not for a long while, I did get a phone call today. And Nigel Bailey, who lives on Long Branch behind Lee's and Dairy Queen there, had spotted the large bird out in this field. And as you saw in the air as it flew off and elsewhere, by the time I arrived, it was already gone. But not before Nigel could take some really awesome photographs. I wish to thank him for calling me and then taking these pictures and then sending them to us, and Josie as well, I think, who helped. And if you see this magnificent creature out, be sure to give us a call. We love tracing him and trying to, and I say him, I don't know, tracing its whereabouts as much as possible. It's just not something you see. Never seen one in my life out in this part of the country until we started having these sightings maybe in 2011 or so. So with that said, keep us up to date. Send us pictures if you can, or any picture that's cool, we'll put it on the show. With that said, I'm out of time. A great deal of news to cover. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep your eye on the weather. We do have nothing out there as far as local Doppler radar is concerned at the 6 o'clock hour. I just can't pull it up right now. The real concern is going to be during the overnight, and we're talking about it maybe 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And that window it's a loose time frame, but that's when a line that is just now starting to form way out to the west of Kentucky is going to make its way into our area. With it, we could see winds 50, 60 miles per hour. We could see a possible severe threat and some showers and thunderstorms. Keep all that in mind. It is, of course, wise to be on that one call or the Code Red network that the Montgomery County government established. It's a wonderful thing to have. It alerts you whenever there is a warning issued by the National Weather Service. You can go online to the Montgomery County Fiscal Court site and register. But keep your eye on the weather. We'll have lows tonight around 62. We'll see showers and storms. I think wrapping up by noon tomorrow, things will start to clear out. We'll be cooler in the 60s tomorrow, the low 60s Saturday, low 70s on Sunday. By tomorrow afternoon, and then Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be perfect and sunny and a little bit cooler as well, but not before what could be a rough night. Keep your eye, please, on the weather. We hope to see all of you back here happy, healthy, and wiser for being with us tomorrow night for more of Your News Today. Thank you, and have a good night.